Welcome to the third part of Leading Youth Ministry Online, this Youth Revival podcast. And I'm here with Katherine Shand, who, let me just tell you this, if you need a preacher to come and preach to your young people, you need to get Katherine to come. She came to our youth ministry and absolutely blew us away. But Katherine, why don't you just introduce yourself, who you are? I know I've bigged you up there, so go for it.
No, thanks Nathan for all that you're doing. It's just great to be a part of this, so it's an honour. Thanks for asking me to join. Yeah, so Katherine Shand from Birmingham, and from the church based in Solihull in the West Midlands called Renewal Church. So I'm the youth pastor there, and have been so for the last 5.5 years. So yeah, man, new times, and time has definitely gone fast. So yeah, been doing that.
How long you been youth pastor there?
5.5 years.
5.5 years.
Yeah. So took it on just when I just about to turn 21 actually. So
yeah. So you just gave away your age.
Yes, 26.
Brilliant. And
still definitely.
I know a few people, a few of our girls will be watching thinking, how does she get her hair to do that?
Oh man, mate, it takes it. You know what? It's not as intense as people think. It's one wash a week, which is good. And as long as you hydrate it every day, put a little bit of moisturizer in it, get the hair dryer on it, you can then poof it up to as big as it needs to be. So yeah,
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I think it could work, Nathan. A good look, especially just like as there's no barbers open and stuff. I think just try a new look.
It's mad. I'm growing it. I'm not going for I'm not doing the shave. I'm definitely not doing the shave.
No. It looks good. It looks good still.
Why don't you just give us a little, just like a brief look at how your program looks online and what you've been doing this season?
So, we've obviously all now moved online. And so how we're setting up our week and how it looks, we go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are our youth crew nights. So we split them. So we do 7, 8, 9 and 10 on a Tuesday. On a Thursday, we do 11 and college. And then Friday, we're doing IGTV. So there's just a message, a short 10-minute, maybe 15 max, from a leader, and just bringing some encouragement of thought. And so, yeah, that's been our format online at the moment, which has been working well. It was kind of one of those things in the beginning. Okay, what do we do and where do we start? Yeah. And I think it's really important to like just you know your flock, you know where you're based, you know your young people. So do what's going to work best for them, and trial and error is important, I found, definitely. So yeah.
No, I love that. Like over the last, even this is the third one of these, talking to Tando and Sam previously. Yeah. Everyone's doing slightly different things, and I think you're right. You know your flock, you know what works.
Yeah.
What work. You're also, it's trial and error. Have you done anything that you would say, oh, we tried that, but it didn't work for us?
I use the word trying still. So we would I think it's the balance of what's been spoken about on here already, of both your discipleship time with the young people, but also the fun elements. And trying to get them to participate in TikTok stuff is so difficult. Like,
we found the same.
Don't you think it's crazy? Because they all have TikTok accounts, they all make these videos and have X amount of followers, but they're not willing to do one for youth. And I'm like, come on, guys. So it's trying to work out how do we best do that, and we want to keep those fun elements in because it's a popular thing and platform now. And so the young person who's actually running that, she's suggested, why don't we try some challenges of our own? Why don't we make up some stuff? Therefore, it feels a little bit more original. And so we're going to trial those things, get leaders to do some stuff. So I think that's one of them where we've tried and it's not really succeeded in the way we thought. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're saying we tried a TikTok challenge and it just, it died.
Yeah.
Free entrance.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick the top 3 when we only had 3. So there we go. But we were just chatting beforehand, and you mentioned like new season, but new season of creativity, those kind of things. How important is that thinking in terms of creativity, trying things? How important is that in terms of leading youth online?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely key, because I think the moment we all went into lockdown together, and then therefore, okay, there is no Friday night happening, there is no Sunday gathering, okay, what are we going to do? So put those ideas out, but also you got to start thinking more, because we don't know how long this will continue. Therefore, we got to keep things fresh. So it is really important just to not only be talking to your leaders and your team about it, but actually ask the young people, what do they want in this time? What's going to be helpful? So I think change of rhythm is helpful as well. Doing something new, popping something in fresh to your week that you wouldn't be doing normally, I think is really good, because it keeps them on their toes, and actually gets them out of the rhythm of just seeing the every normal week of what they're expecting. So if we can put a new face up on a content on a Friday for an IGTV. We're doing Takeover Tuesdays, which is just awesome, with a young person leading a devotion. So a different face is always good. So just keeping that freshness is good, and also just keeping that question out to the team, and if they've got ideas, just again trial those things and see if they work. So yeah.
And you mentioned there, obviously, you Takeover Tuesday, I think it was, you said, and getting young people to share a message. How important is that in terms of, because we can create ownership when we're meeting physically for young people. You can serve on team, you can be on band, you can do this. How important is it to keep them included in this season?
Yeah, I think it's massive to keep them included, because I found anyway, when we've been putting them up on the screen, they get the biggest engagement, like in terms of views and how many people are watching it, but people want to see what the young people are saying. So I think it's really key and important, because, God speaks to all of us, doesn't matter the age. Yeah. And so therefore they've got a voice as well in this time. And if we can allow them to lead in whatever way, like if that's doing an IGTV or doing an Insta Live, and you tune in a young person rather than another leader from elsewhere, like it's just really good to keep that engagement up. And the young people who are maybe letting their friends know what they're watching and tuning into, if they're seeing a familiar face or seeing someone their age, they're more likely to buy into what we're doing, because they're going, okay, I can relate. So yeah, massive. We need to keep young people's faces kind of like at the forefront of youth online, and doing how we're doing it for this season. Yeah,
that's brilliant. I think that's so key, and might be a little bit more work, yes, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
They take that ownership and responsibility. You mentioned there, in terms of your IGTV and your messages, like 15 minutes max. Is that a change of length for you in terms of how it would be live?
Yeah, so I think obviously in its live form would be about 20, maybe 25 minutes with like questions in there as well. And so therefore you'd have that further engagement, which is, taking you up to 40 minutes maybe. So there has been a change, and it's obviously trying to say for its platform, you've got to maybe keep it a little bit more short and sweet. Like we can tune into different things online where a message is 30 minutes, maybe 45, but we're choosing to do that, but we're wanting that engagement for our young people. So if we can keep it snappy, I think they're more likely to stay plugged and tuned into it. Yeah, so yeah, 15 minutes is what we've took it down to from its normal format of like maybe 20-25.
Yeah, we're the same. We're like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's get them in small groups discussing it. Let's do that, because with anything, any platform that you kind of use, really, there's always the distractions. YouTube, there's the suggested videos.
Yeah.
Instagram, Justin Bieber's just gone live.
Yeah, all my days. Yeah. With another person, you're like, yeah, no one's watching us anymore.
So no, that's good. What would you say? So just thinking of young people and leading young people in this time, and maybe what they're facing, how has we would call it in the church world discipleship, but caring for young people. Yeah. How does that look for you guys? what are some of the, maybe some of the issues you might have faced, and some of how you've tackled those things?
Yeah. I think in the layout of the spreading out what we're doing at the beginning, we really tried to identify maybe our most vulnerable young people in this time as well. So we were quite specific about, putting them in a specific kind of requirement of check-in and stuff. And that's a real mixture, both maybe young people who struggle with their mental health, maybe physical health as well in that, but also where their parents are on the front line as well. So one of our young people, single parent home, and mom is an NHS worker, so therefore he's home alone a lot of the time. So how do we make sure he's doing okay, and having that call, having that check-in? So every leader's assigned a set of young people to call every week, to check in with, to have both the banter on the phone and just the fun element of just a chilled conversation, but also the intentionality of, look, is there anything further we can do for you in this time? Just let us know. So I think that's definitely something we're trying to do, and keep to a level of high standard. But also, like you say, the discipleship part is also asking them, where are they at right now? How are they thinking and feeling? So in those discussion times on the youth Zooms, we just give that real freedom just to go back and forth. A lot of the kids actually have teamed up with another friend to do like Bible studies, like a couple of them have, which has been really cool to hear. So I think definitely just allowing it to be a real free conversation, of just acknowledging the present, because everyone's going to be at a different place. Some people are buzzing and going, whoa, no school. Other people are going, I'm really struggling.
Yeah, I guess everyone's finding that. There's some kids, I think I'd have been like this, no school, I can kind of do what I want, and then there's a opposite end where it's like, there's the fear of the future. What does that look like? For those who were meant to take exams, what does it mean for me? And there's no real answers at the moment. Nobody knows. And so it's caring and leading. I just loved your thing that you're doing with the guy, single mom, and she's at NHS, and you're just making sure cared for, and being intentional about that. And so you'd put a list together for leaders to follow up. Would they be in their, like small group, in their discussion groups? We'd call them connect groups here, but whatever you call them, would that be the leader who contacts?
Yeah, so that leader's contacting those young people that they're checking in with weekly, both on a Zoom call. So therefore they're the ones following up with the call. So just trying to keep that guys with guys, girls with girls, of course. But making it that it feels like, okay, I spoke to you on Tuesday, there's a follow-up on a Thursday or a Friday, so it just continues the conversation.
No, I think it's a big season for that. It's a big season for caring for young people. Sometimes we can leave it till we see them face to face on a Friday, and sometimes our contact can just be information. Hey, it's Youth Friday, looking forward to seeing you. I say to our guys, actually, information should come second behind building the relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
So, because that relationship and that caring for young people is really important. In terms of yourself, Katherine, and you leading, not just in this season, but also leading for the last, was it 5.5 years, leading youth ministry. What are some of the big things that you, or maybe challenges that you've faced that you've had to overcome, or even you're still, journeying through that?
I think the biggest one for us was September 2018, when we had a big chunk of our older end, so year 13s, who in some essentially overall, they really led the way in youth, both from an engagement point of view, just that culture that was set, and because there was a lot of them, you found that maybe the younger end just got swamped in that, and you couldn't maybe identify who's just going with the moment of like hype and jump and way, and who actually just does that naturally. So then when those guys left in September, and then we had the other guys obviously come up, and New Year 7s, whatnot, we're continuing with our normal program. So worship, and games and whatnot, and none of them were engaging. And we just had a real like, is everything okay? And we like freaked out a little bit as
Yeah.
team, and felt, again, you kind of start knocking yourself, like, what are we doing wrong? And then we just had time to pray and just really go, God, what do you need us to do? And he just said, go back to basics. And so 2019, we literally just went, okay, we're going to strip everything back, because it's hard. Yeah, you create a culture within your youth, but if they're not naturally, the most bubbliest and wanting to kind of jump to the big loud songs, or wanting to get up for a game which involves getting messy, you kind of go, how do we recreate it? And so I think it's always making sure you're not taking on the pressure yourself of, we're doing something wrong, we've got it all wrong, we've messed up. You just go, okay, how can we, times are changing. That was like, we've got to keep up, and therefore if we need to adjust, just like be gracious, and therefore just do whatever needs to be done. And when we did that change, we found that we just went deeper on a relationship level with the young people, because we weren't just making it what it had been. So yeah, we changed for the season and the time. Yeah,
I think that's important for this season and this time, actually. Just to, because we're talking on Zoom here, and we can see each other's faces. Most people's resting faces don't look like they're interested. And you don't see much of the body language at times.
Yeah.
And so you can look at your young people, and you can be in a Zoom call, you can be in your Zoom call with 8 young people, and you look in their faces and you're talking, and you're thinking, oh my word, they're not bothered at all.
Yeah. So like, did it even work what I said? Like, did the audio go through? Yeah. You freak out.
Yeah. You like put a little message in the chat, can everyone hear me okay, kind of thing, or put a thumbs up. Yeah. So I just think it's important in this season to just think, again, what's going to work, what's going to work for us, and what's going to do that. I know I paused for you there, Catherine. Am I back?
Yes, you are back. Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's good. This is technology. This is what we have to work with.
Life.
This is life now.
Yeah. What did you say in that last part?
Just that in this season, that's what we have to think again, in terms of, being creative, and just thinking again, like what is needed for this season. So you had your guys go up, and then you've got the younger ones coming up. And what was amazing is you took time to, one, you recognized it. It'd have been very easy to just keep going, because it'd have been like, well, that worked. So that worked for years, so it's got to work again.
Yeah.
But you recognize this isn't working for this generation or for these young people we've got. You sought God for, wisdom. We know godly wisdom is, higher and greater than any earthly knowledge. You sought God for wisdom. And then when you heard, you began to put it into application. I think that's the same for this season.
Yeah.
Actually, for some, maybe youth leader, youth pastor who's watching this, you thought, what I'm doing in this season doesn't seem to be working. I want to encourage you, maybe it is, you're just, looking at 2D faces rather than getting the response.
Yeah. So
but
true.
Also, begin to take stock, and, begin to think of things that could happen.
Most definitely.
What I love about this, and kind of just to kind of bring everything in, and obviously we're talking about leading youth ministry online, but Catherine, you're a female leader in the church, which hasn't been a norm, which is a fault of the church, in my opinion. And I think it's incredible. I actually, part of me is like, I think I'm hoping in the future this doesn't have to be a question that I ask, because it's just the norm. It's the same as anything. But what I'm just thinking, there are many young female leaders who will be watching this. Just thinking, you're an inspiration to those guys. I think of our young female youth leaders who were inspired by you when you came. What are some things that you'd love to say to that group of young female leaders?
No, I definitely feel like what I've learned over this time, 5.5 years in it, is just definitely connect is so important. Connecting with other people and staying in touch and reaching out. Feel like it can feel a little bit, you feel maybe intimidated or just going, oh, I don't know that person, I don't have a relationship with them. You only need to just start with a Instagram message to someone, pick up someone's email from a church and just start talking. And so, I found myself just doing that and reaching out to, I was kind of asking the questions with what was a quite male, broad youth pastor platform, and just going, do you know any other females doing this? And from there I was really able to build connections with people. So some great folks in Northern Ireland, like Lauren at Thriving Life, just absolutely smashing it, and you've got Jodie in Doncaster at Legacy, and so many others, and you realize, okay, there are more of us. It just takes the searching and kind of the digging. So I think definitely just find out who's doing what at what churches. Maybe you don't realize it's a female youth pastor as well, because their face might not be everywhere, but it is them running the ship. So therefore just build those connections, and with that we need to work together as well. So I know it was building those connections with other leaders, like meeting yourself and Debbie just last year and stuff, talking about church youth. It encourages you. So you've just got to keep those connections strong with people, build with people. We're building kingdom. Like, it's not just that individual church, we are building kingdom, we're doing this together. And so I think that's really key for any kind of young female leader coming up, trying to find a sense of someone they can identify with, like, and go, yeah, we're doing the same thing. Just look, and those people are out there most definitely. So yeah.
No, I love it. And I love finding out that there are more young female leaders coming through, leading youth ministries, but also leading churches as well. And I think so vital. It's so great. Well, Katherine, thanks for being part of this.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's been great to have this conversation together, and I'm sure we'll catch up very soon. See you soon.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care, Nathan. Thank you.